everybody. Good morning. It's Tanya Towner here, and thank you for joining me this morning for today's daily devotional. I hope your day's off to a good start and that you'll be encouraged this month for what the series is that we've been working on and going through here at church. It's on being grateful. And one of the passages that was shared this past week that I really was a great reminder for me of how to live came from 1 Thessalonians 5:18. It says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." And a couple of things that verse reminded me about was one, it tells us that's God's will. With a lot of times I think we ask ourselves, what's God's will for my life? Well, we know one of God's wills for our lives is to be thankful and to be grateful. And it says to do it on a continuous basis. And so the challenge for me is, how do I remember to be thankful on a continuous basis? How do I put this into a habit or a practice to remember living this out on a daily basis? And one of the things that made me think about was when my kids were younger, and for years while they were growing up, I had out on our kitchen table what I call the Thanksgiving jar. And that jar was with some pieces of paper next to it. And I just would remind my kids, especially at dinner time a lot, because that was the easiest time to do it, to write down something they were thankful for that day. And we would fill up the jar throughout the year, and not just them, but my husband and myself would do it too. And at the end of the year, and Thanksgiving is particularly, I would then pull out the papers and I would read them during our Thanksgiving meal and remind ourselves of the things that my children and my husband and I were thankful for throughout the year. And then I would take those little pieces of paper, and I had a little Thanksgiving book, I called it, like a journal book, and I would then categorize and catalog all those things they wrote about each year. And so now I have something I can go back and look at and see. And it was a great reminder for me to see the things my children would write, my husband and I would write, things that God came through on, things that God provided for, and ways that God took care of us that I totally had forgotten about. But because I had wrote a thankful paper on it, or my children wrote a piece, something they were thankful about, I got to be reminded at the end of the year. And then I can go back and look at this book still today, because I still have it, of things that my kids were grateful for and thankful for growing up. And so it was just a great way to help us remember to be thankful and to say it and speak it out and write it into paper, and then to review it and remind ourselves at the end of the year. So maybe that's something you can use, I don't know, but any way that works for you to help you remember and to speak it out and to share it with others, just to practice it every day. Maybe you just wake up and say, today I'm grateful for ... and you fill in the blank. Just whatever it takes to make it a practice in your life. And then we know when we're doing that, we are accomplishing God's will in our life. So I hope you're encouraged today. I hope you have something you could be thankful for today. Even if it's just the sky is blue, the clouds are white, that we live in Florida, for your health, for your job, for your car, for the things that God has blessed us with and given us so abundantly here for living in this great country we have. So anyway, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you soon.